What if I told you there's a fish so terrifying that some people believe it came from Jupiter? Sounds crazy, right? Well, deep in the ocean, there's a monstrous creature with gigantic fangs, soulless eyes, and a body that looks straight out of a sci-fi horror film. It's called the Fangtooth fish, and its nightmarish appearance has sparked wild theories, some even claiming it's an alien species that somehow ended up in Earth's waters. But why do some people believe this? And what makes this fish so terrifying? Let's dive into the depths and find out. If you think sharks are scary, wait until you see this monster. The fangtooth fish is one of the most terrifying creatures lurking in the deep sea. It's small, but don't let that fool you. Its massive fangs make it look straight out of a horror movie. In fact, compared to its body size, it has the biggest teeth of any fish on the planet. Its lower jaw fangs are so enormous that its skull had to develop special pockets just to store them. With its pitch-black body, soulless eyes, and a mouth full of daggers, this fish is built for fear. The fangtooth doesn't just look scary, it lives in one of the most extreme places on Earth. Found between 3,300 and 9,800 feet below the surface, this fish survives in total darkness. This zone, known as the bathypelagic zone, is so deep that not a single ray of sunlight reaches it. Down here, pressure is crushing, food is scarce, and only the toughest creatures survive. The fangtooth's horrifying appearance isn't just for show. It's an adaptation that helps it catch prey in the black void of the deep ocean. Most fish have normal-sized teeth, but the fangtooth is in a league of its own. Its fangs are so long that if they didn't fit into special skull pockets, they would pierce right through its brain. Unlike other deep-sea predators, the fangtooth doesn't use bioluminescence or fancy lures to catch its food. Instead, it relies on brute force and lightning-fast reflexes. With a huge mouth that snaps shut in an instant, anything that comes too close doesn't stand a chance. Even though it lives in the deep, the fangtooth isn't always hiding in the dark. At night, it swims up closer to the surface in search of food, a behavior known as diurnal vertical migration. Scientists have spotted these fish feeding on small fish and even squid, much larger than themselves. But as soon as the sun starts to rise, they retreat back into the shadows of the deep sea, vanishing into the abyss before daylight can expose them. Despite its terrifying look, the fangtooth remains a mystery. Because it lives in such deep, uncharted waters, studying this fish is incredibly difficult. Scientists have only seen them alive in their natural habitat a handful of times. Most of what we know comes from dead specimens that accidentally end up in fishing nets. What we don't know is how they reproduce, how long they live, or how they handle the extreme pressure of the deep. Until researchers find a way to study them up close, the fangtooth will continue to be one of the most elusive monsters of the deep. The ocean is filled with terrifying creatures, but the fangtooth fish might just be one of the scariest. With its oversized fangs, pitch-black body, and secretive life in the abyss, it's the definition of a real-life sea monster. And who knows, maybe there are even bigger, scarier versions lurking even deeper than we've ever explored. The deep sea is full of secrets, and creatures like the fangtooth prove that nature can be both terrifying and fascinating. Want to see more nightmare-inducing sea monsters? Stick around, because there's plenty more where that came from.